everybody, welcome back to VCTV from La Token. My name is Sunny Mohanty and I represent La Token in Singapore. And I'm back again to discuss a very interesting topic about asset tokenization or tokenization of assets. So it's going to be a very interesting panel because the speakers are very much into this space, and we're going to obviously know a lot that's happening in the space. So without further wasting time, let's just have a quick round of intro of the speakers of the panel today. Hi, everybody. Hi, how are you? Hi, Vijay. Hi, Roshan. Sanjay, welcome back. Tushar, welcome back. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Thanks,
Sunny.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Very good. Thank you.
Great. So before we actually went online, we're having a bit of discussion about where we're dialing in from. So let's just a quick round of intro and where you're dialing from, what company you represent. Let's start with Sanjay. Sanjay, hi, how are you?
So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I apologize that I may not know everything. So, but I live in New York, New Jersey, and I'm dialing in from Miami.
Okay, you're dialing from Miami?
Yes.
What's happening there, Sanjay? May I ask?
Well, we have our Data 3.0 for 3.0 session, about 6 hours. We got the former SEC commissioner speaking with us. We got that's all about, and we're broadcasting it live. So if you all want to look at it, let me know, and I'll send you an invite starting 10:45 today. It's about a 3-hour session.
Ooh, that's interesting. I would
and
be.
Our headquarters are here.
Okay, I'd be very much interested. Thank you so much and welcome back, Vijay.
Thank you.
All right, next I have Vijay. Hi, Vijay. Hi, good morning.
Hi, Sony, thanks for having me again. And I am based in Toronto, Canada, and I'm dialing in from my home office here. So it's not as fancy and as warm as Miami, but you know what? It's in Toronto. A day where there's no snow, and at this time I think it's a good day. So great to be here with all of you and look to have a great panel discussion.
It's one of the best cities in Northern America.
Absolutely. And if you haven't bought real estate, you should. There's a lot of FOMO here. So
FOMO is creating a lot of FOMO in Canada.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Vijay, and welcome back. Tushar, how are you?
I'm doing good, Sadi. Thank you for having me on the show, and always excited to discuss about NFTs and cryptos and blockchain and whatnot. The new world. And thank you to all the other panelists as well. So, just as a short intro, I run consultancy ventures, and we are into all types of funding, whether it is equity funding or crypto funding, and the whole jingman.
Very nice.
Perfect. Thank you. Last but not least, Roshan, hi. How are you?
Hi, Sony. I'm good. I'm actually on the road. This is I was visiting my coffee plantation today, and that's about 3 hours drive from Bangalore, where I live. And so I'm just driving back. So I've just stopped at a place on the highway. And so I'm about an hour away from Bangalore. You can see that, for those of you who haven't been to Bangalore or India for a while, the highway dhabas have gotten a little bit of an upgrade nowadays,
Wow.
Yeah.
This
They're
is
kind
a
of done this is the equivalent of the dhaba. It's like a highway pit stop,
Wow.
As you can see, I'm pretty much the only guy here. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm a little early,
Yeah. The party starts later.
I had a chance to go from Bangalore to Hampi recently. It was an expressway where you could drive at 200 and full of facilities.
Unfortunately, I don't know. I've just got a new car and this thing is beeping at 120. So I don't know. Like I have to figure out a way to get rid of this shit.
I think Vijay's put a governor in it. You're too important for FOHO.
Yeah.
All the insurance folks.
Yeah. Or you got to buy good earbuds and just still drive on.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
So great. I mean, we all set with the kind of introductions. So basically, Vijay and Roshan represent FOHO. They are co-founders. They've been on VCTV before. So today's panel is going to be focused on real estate tokenization because they are from that space. However, Sanjay, I know he's been deeply involved in the space as well. So let's start with Sanjay. Well, Sanjay, please tell us, like, you've been on the show. I think the last time you were there in the show was a long time back. You were doing many things, but now you are focused on Invenium. The last time we met in Dubai, you were discussing the fantastic things that you're happening, the fantastic things that you're doing and the roadmap. So tell us, how are you involved now with this tokenization space?
Yeah. So, listen, I'm still involved. At the age of 75, I'm still involved with a lot of things, right? I'm not 75, but that's a joke I use. But, with Invenium, let me tell you about, so we are launching a SPAC, $350 million in energy. So I'm very involved. I'm very involved with Oxford and Stanford. We're creating a conservation studio on ESG, and HSBC is putting in about $200 to $400 million there. So I'm very involved with these things. It's all about, but what has attracted me to Invenium is two or three things. We provide proof of value and proof of state of any asset in a real-time basis without really moving the data from the source system. So that in itself becomes very powerful. And Patrick O'Mara, who's our CEO, and my role is I'm chairman of the advisory board and president international and chief revenue officer. I don't know, my title keeps on changing. But what we do is we are probably we are first of all, the top 10 blockchain patent holders on DeFi and blockchain in America. So, I think that's also in India, ahead of MasterCard, IBM, and all those guys. But what's more exciting is that we have use cases. We've got an ecosystem that's just amazing. So Cushman, CBRE, all those people are on our platform. And we have now got pressure from all the asset managers to start creating a consulting organization that can advise funds where to invest in blockchain and crypto. So we got Mike Komansky on our board, who 8 years or 10 years ago paid 4 Bitcoin to buy a pizza, right? He wanted to prove a point, right? He's the biggest in Bitcoin Cash. So, and former SEC commissioner on our board. So we do everything regulatory-wise. We do in real assets. We are doing crypto too on the side, but we do believe that the full private asset marketplace, which is $600 to $800 billion, is all wide open for financial inclusivity. So we at Invenium are how do I put it? We are the Refinitiv of private data. That's what we are. We will ensure that private data is available to you to do what you need to do, but it's never moves from the source system. So that's why we call it Data 3.0 for Web 3.0.
Interesting. Data 3.0. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay. Let's move on to Tushar.
Yeah, Sunny. So, we have been watching on the sidelines for NFTs, especially with regards to the regulatory overhang here in India. Yep. And the government has said that they'll come out with guidelines, and by the look of it, it seems that it won't be a negative, or rather, it would be more of regulating the whole thing in a positive spirit. And recently we saw Mr. Amitabh Bachchan and Salman Khan launch their NFTs, and Mr. Bachchan's NFTs, there was some figure being quoted of I think close to $10 to $15 million worth of sales, which happened within no time. So that shows the excitement around the whole NFT piece. And Kamal Hassan is also launching his NFT, and I believe that there is a huge work which will be done in this space eventually in India, in moving a lot of assets digitally online as an NFT or in other ways. And that's the excitement about the whole space. So we are just right now not so much deeply involved, but watching from the sidelines.
Tushar, I'm very involved with the Indian, what they're trying to do on this NFT side, on the government side, and you're absolutely correct.
Right. So there was actually the quote which said that it is not illegal, the cryptos are not illegal, and then the RBI stance and the government stance had changed. But a lot was actually we were witnessing what China was doing. So still, the overhang hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
But but the movement is positive. So there is a right direction in, like, more than 105 million Indians have already invested in cryptos.
Yes.
So that's not a small number. These, they represent the top purchasing power class of this country. And if they are moving in a particular direction, then the government has to either regulate it. It can't really kill it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think the regulation will eventually happen.
Yeah.
Right. Talking about NFTs, though obviously they are a different ball game altogether. Like lots happening in NFTs all over the world, not only in India, but in US, in Singapore, everywhere. Like, you hear a new use case in every sector that you can think of, right? So I was discussing with someone just before I went live about music royalties on NFTs and stuff like that. Like, there are multiple companies who put their music on NFTs, and I was trying to figure how different they are, like how unique they are. So yeah, so that's NFT. We can probably touch base later. But today's focus is on real estate tokenization, and you've joined here with Vijay and Roshan. But before Roshan, I would like to obviously ask you to take us through your journey. Like, you obviously own a sort of Airbnb, a sort of equivalent Airbnb out of Singapore, right? So take us through the
Yes,
journey
yes.
that you started off in real estate, and your progression into the space of
Yeah.
fractional
So
ownership of real estate.
yeah, so Suni, I started in the real estate space in 2010, essentially trying to monetize a few vacation properties that I had inherited. And realized pretty much that there was no real easy way to make money from those properties. And so created a very simple website. For the first 1 year, it was a free service where people who owned vacation homes could just list their properties and then, connect with other people who wanted to stay in them as opposed to staying in a hotel. We were at the right place at the right time. And, this business has grown into
Yeah.
one of the world's largest vacation home rental services called Trip Villas. We also in 2016 decided to enter the property management business, where we only manage complexes. So we manage large vacation home complexes. If you see the largest vacation home complexes in India, I think out of the top three, all three are managed by Trip Villas. And out of the ones that will become the top three, again, all of those are also managed by Trip Villas. This includes projects with the Tata Group, Purvankara, the Hiranandani Group, etc. All the largest marquee projects are co-branded with Trip Villas. We do 360-degree property management, which means we maintain the property, we do the technical services, we broker the property, resale the property, fit out the property, provide hospitality services, F&B, at the club, rental management, rent disbursement, tax filings, they name it. It's a 360-degree on-ground property management service, which is very intensive. Um, and we've always felt that I mean, of course, we've always felt that this business has always been the purview of the wealthy, because obviously we operate in Asia, where pretty much people struggle to buy their first home. And so the person who's looking to buy his vacation home is by definition in the creamy layer of Asia. However, and we always felt that this needs to change, and it needs to be more democratized. And as we've started Foho, we've started also looking for opportunities, and started looking for opportunities of real estate that can perform and provide high yield. And then I'm reminded about why I started Trip Villas in the first place, because it's so difficult to find yield
Yeah.
beyond 4%, 5% in plain vanilla residential or commercial real estate. So vacation homes are one of the few assets where you can actually have create arbitrage or create alpha, and generate yields which are above, or at least tending towards the double digits, or which are in the high single digits and can go into the double digits with high occupancy. So with Foho, and we're very shortly gonna have the service on November 15th. I would urge everyone to visit letsfoho.com. And essentially what we're doing is we are building when you go to a lot of these realtor websites, you kind of sit in India and you window shop, or you sit in Singapore and you video shop about all these beautiful properties in Australia or the US or across the globe. So this is that with a buy button. So it kind of will, I mean, our promise is, we will be, a very pretty website with lots of beautiful real estate generating great income across the globe. And as opposed to just window shopping, you can actually click the buy button and it'll be in your MetaMask or in your wallet within 10 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the inherent promise, and that you will see that in action on November 15th.
Wow.
Very nice, Roshan.
Yeah.
So
the elevator pitch, I'll just take it on for a little from where Roshan is. For less than $10,000 today, you can't get a broom closet in New York where you live, Sanjay, or in Toronto where I live. You can't get a broom closet for $10,000. Now, for $10,000, you could buy 1/10,000 of a fraction of a $2 million New York apartment overlooking Central Park. You can buy 1/10,000 of a ski chalet in Whistler, BC. You can buy 1/10,000 of a villa in Goa. You can buy 1/10,000 of a Palm Jumeirah villa in Dubai. In all of that in $10,000. So I think that is truly democratizing. It's truly making real estate, the global real estate available to somebody in small town India, in small town US. I mean, basically, you don't need to be the privileged, as Roshan said. And this is not just in Asia. You don't have to be the privileged anywhere in the world to have access to this. We're bringing that to people's doorstep, and they just need to click and buy that. So I think that's the premise. So
yes,
sorry to interrupt here.
No, Vijay, thank you so much for adding that on. I was actually coming to you. So before we deep dive into Foho's business model and how to invest into the platform and what benefits does Foho have for the investors, I just wanted to know, where did you start this journey? How did you meet Roshan? How did you co-found this company?
Okay. Good question. So I run a software company. That's my day job. I started a company called Tangentia. We're now a digital transformation company. We do a lot of robotic process automation, artificial intelligence. Started that in 2003 in a one-bedroom condominium in Toronto. And we're now around 300 plus people globally in the US, Canada, and in India. So as we went along, I think something around 2017, I was doing a lot of angel investing and things that were not connected to the actual IT business, and then we started a small venture capital company called Tangentia Ventures, and something that was always on my mind was how in North America you can have a fractional holiday home. So fractional holiday home was when 10, 12 people got together and bought, let's say, a villa in the Hamptons or in Muskoka, in outside of Toronto, and you got 4 weeks in a year, 1 week in every season. You owned 1/12 or 1/10 of the property, and you went in. The next guy moved out. So it was like time sharing with ownership of the underlying property. And I always looked at my parents. They had timeshares in companies in India, Mahindra Timeshare and some of the others. And there was always like, hey, Vijay, when are you coming? We got to use this thing, right? Nobody used it. I mean, it used to go waste, and it's very difficult to get out of some of those things, right? So, and you don't have access to the underlying property. So if the property increases in value, you only have right of usage. So we kind of put the two together, and that was our first avatar of Foho in 2019. In 2019, we launched in India, Sri Lanka, and we were going to go a couple of other places. Was just 10, 12 people owning a property, right? So it was and where you had usage as well. So then COVID hit. We kind of went a little on the back burner. Come to 2021, beginning of the year, we Roshan did some searching around on fractional. We came up there, and then we began to talk, and then we realized we're kind of wanting to do some of the similar things. We had both dabbled and thought of blockchain, thought of crypto, thought of all these things. We decided, you know what, we got to put all these together. We spent a couple of months thinking of this. It was very intense discussions which continue to today. And I think at some point of the day we said, you know what, we've got enough knowledge in the technology business, knowledge in the property management business, in the real estate investment business. We got to put this together. There were a couple of things that we were new to. We didn't understand crypto as well, but I think I strongly feel, and I think Roshan believes as well, even rockets, nothing is rocket science. Even rocket science is not rocket science. And Elon Musk has proven it to us that rocket science is not rocket science, right? I mean, you can actually send people to the moon, not to the moon, to the space without having NASA scientists on board. So I think that's how we did it. And then we went IEO in on BitBNS on 15th of August 2021, which was just a couple of months back. So 15th of August was India's 75th Independence Day. So as India gained independence, we truly believe this is democratization and independence for property seekers globally. There is no more. Anybody can buy property now. Obviously, the platform will take care of regulation. It will make sure that if you're not an Indian citizen, you cannot buy agricultural property in India. So all of those things will be taken care of, right? So, but other than that, it's basically opened it up to everybody. As Roshan said, the equivalent of realtor.com, realtor.ca, or any of these sites with a buy button. You don't need to have a real estate agent. But we do see the real estate agent and other marketplace players also having a place. So they will morph into being more portfolio managers. So they can tell people, okay, you know what, buy here, buy here, buy here. They can become portfolio managers. Very similar to a stock portfolio. You have a real estate portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about timeshares, when I go to India, my father would say, it's going to expire, go and use it. And if it's expired, it's expired. You can't use that.
Exactly.
So yeah, Sanjay, what's your take about future of asset tokenization? I mean, you said that you're also involved in.
Yeah, so I think listen, I went down this journey about 4 or 5 years ago. As you know, Sonny, I'm an advisor to His Highness in UAE, right? And we're creating a marketplace for real estate there. But I've always believed that instead of going the democratization of alpha, I've always believed in that. So how do you achieve that? And I think Vijay and Roshan put it very clearly forward, right? Tokenization is one of the ways to do it. The problem with tokenization I've had is, what's the value of that token? What creates value? How do you trade it? How do you do it? So as we go and buy a little bit stake in Tokeny, and we are going to list the people, and Roshan, I'll be in India soon, and I know Bangalore very, very well. We will be tokenizing companies and putting it on LSEG or Euronext, right? So that they can be, institutional investors can come in. But what we do is we make sure the token has all the data relating to the property, so that it gives complete transparency to the person what that property is, right? And as a result of it, if we also do the valuation every month, which is provided by Cushman, JLL, CBRE, or whoever it is, right? And as a result, someone make a decision. Our goal is that in about 3 to 4 years, or 5 years, or 6 years. I mean, with COVID, everything is accelerated. You could be sitting in this conference call, sell a building in UK, and buy a building in New York. You'll be able to do that because the value of information, the transparency and the trust of information via blockchain, DeFi, and quality of data at the time of use will be huge. Tokenization is another way where you allow people to participate in an economy. If you look at what Rahul Banerjee has done for bond value, right? He's tokenized the bonds. He's made it available in $1,000 denomination, because an ordinary person can't go and buy $100 million Citibank bond, right? They can buy 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Singapore dollars, or whatever it is, right? And he's fractionalized it. So this allows people to participate in the economy. I also believe it will bring liquidity. If you look at UAE stance, they're going to double the economy via tokenization. But tokenization falls flat on the floor if there's no value to substantiate what the value, there's no value to substantiate what it is, right? And that's where we are the data economy underneath it, right? But I do believe that tokenization is there to stay, and it's been there for 5-7 years. It's not that it's not been there, right? And it's always been there. It's just that there's a country that has approached us from Asia and saying we've got a stable coin, with stable currency. We've got a currency, right? It's backed by real estate, but no one's buying it. The reason is no one knows what the underlying value of that token, real estate is, and there's no transparency consistently on a month-to-month basis.
And just to add, Sonny, if I may just, so securitization, tokenization, all of this is kind of on the same spectrum. In 1997, David Bowie launched the Bowie bond. Okay, so which was $100 million of his assets. So in a way, NFT and all of these things are not really that brand new as a concept. It's making it simpler. It's making it easier. But guess what? We've had instances of this happen as far back as in 1997, right? So it is something that obviously, as Sanjay mentioned, how does a Bowie bond keep its value? I mean, one is there is the underlying asset are people listening to David Bowie's music, right? I mean, so is there the royalty system in? So those are things I think with blockchain, a lot of this is now available. You don't have to wait for the end of year report or the quarterly report or whatever. It's available as much as real time, and people can see that. And I think somehow what we have done is we've engaged the concept of a sponsor within our thing. So the people like JLL and all of these guys will be sponsors of the core platform. So they will actually vet and bring some of these properties. So they're going to be standing by it as well. So truly a decentralized REIT is what we would call the core platform. So some of this is kind of in there already. But I think Sanjay kind of put it, hit it on the head there. But I think one part of it, Sanjay, is also going to be through a marketplace, right? I mean, again, if a centralized party tells you this is the value in today's blockchain construct, in our DeFi construct, it probably has lesser value than some people that actually use the property. Some people in and around there. I think that's where we are going with this.
Yeah.
We want to make this a marketplace kind of thing. Otherwise, centrally, some analyst will put together, here is what I think. This is the same as the stock market, right? Somebody says, Blackstone analyst says, this is the true value of Tesla. What does that matter?
Yeah. So Vijay, that's not the point. The point is, so we have onboarded BlackRock assets on our platform, right? BlackRock, with that name, they can get the trading done at whatever value they want.
Yeah.
The problem is people are demanding the transparency on the data that informs the proof of value of that asset. It can trade at whatever it trades, number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, I want to give an analogy. One of my gifts to my wife was giving her producing rights for Kaagaz Ki Kashti, Jagmeet Singh's, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But how did we produce that movie? We got we needed in Indian rupees 4 crores. Mm. The producer was going to put 2 crores, and I got 2 crores put in 15 lakh denominations with 20 people. But that was a paper. What we are doing is we're talking about, and Vijay, I've heard that you said about digital transformation. So I led all of Citibank's digital transformation and delivered $5 billion to the bottom line. My point is we have digitized that process. We made it transparent. We made it tradable. But we believe the absence of data that provides the proof of value of that, you can carry on even NFTs. We're working on a massive NFT with Philip Stark, right? He's one of the biggest designer in the world, right? And he's got about 20,000 artifacts, right? And for each artifact, he gets streaming revenue on it, right? All I'm trying to say is that the following: if you do not substantiate what the value of it is, it doesn't mean that it's trading at that value. The DLOM, the discount because of lack of marketability, DLOM, is about 40 to 50% for private assets. Our goal is to reduce it through transparency to 15 to 20%, and then let it trade whatever it trades at. And that's the point we're trying to make with you. We're not trying to say that you can't tokenize and put it out, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely no. I was just making a little bit of a counter thing as well, in terms of saying that, as we get more entities, more data points onto the blockchain as well, related to the property, right? Specifically, yield, rental, the details, any and every aspect that we can make as transparent as possible to the end user. All they need to do is query the blockchain, and they will see everything that's connected to the property. So that's kind of one area. And second was obviously, more people talking about it. Yeah, but absolutely. So DLOM, I learned a new term today, Sanjay. Thank you.
Same here. I have a very, well, how to put it? I'm quite novice in that sense. So what Sanjay is saying, the value which that particular asset is traded at, are you talking about crypto, or are you talking about the capital markets, Sanjay?
Sorry, I lost you.
When you said that you're talking about this asset and the value that is traded at, were you talking about a crypto asset or traditional?
I'm talking about real assets. So crypto, see, so going to real asset, any private asset, right? Whether it's a private equity, private debt, private credit. In fact, we have been approached by a fund who wants to value the private credit every day so that it can be held as collateral, and private commercial real estate and residential real estate. The point is, and I'll give you an example, Vijay. By tokenizing, people are able to now stake their tokens because there's a value as
Yes.
collateral against revenue earning opportunity and make money out of that. Right? That's what we're talking about, creating DAOs. But DAOs can be only created on real assets, right? It takes a different capital stack, values it, puts it into a let's put it a smart contract SPV, right? And as a result, you can come in and out on the tokenization side. So that is what we're doing. And I think India is going to allow DAOs and everything else. America's allowed it. I mean, it's just shocking that Wisconsin just passed a law on that. America is the most laggard in the world as it relates to all these things. Sorry to say that, but that's the point.
Yes, absolutely. Community coming up and voting for a common cause. I think, DAOs are picking up. But how do you tackle regulations? Either of you, Roshan or Vijay, you can take that. Because what I understood, fractional ownership would be a regulated space, right? When it comes to real estate. How are you going to, what are your plans for that?
So,
Can I start?
Real estate. Sure, Sanjay, go ahead.
Roshan, go ahead, please, Roshan.
So Sonny, real estate is already regulated in most parts of the world. So even in India, for instance, you have the Real Estate Regulatory Authority. You have a registrar in every state. You have regulations around who can purchase what class of real estate, and you have regulations around the kind of titles and how they are stratified in real estate anyhow. So real estate globally will always be heavily regulated because the premise of financial independence is owning your own home, and that is central to most governments. Being able to enable their population to buy their own home and to afford to buy their own home, and various other things around it. So real estate will always be regulated, and if you try to take a shortcut, then that will impact the quality of title of the real estate that you hold. So I don't think any player can go around and say that let's do a workaround, let's take some shortcut, let's not comply with the regulations, because that will cause a deficiency in title, which will impact the value of the real estate that you hold, and nobody in their sane mind would want to do that.
Right.
So everybody else will in some ways, like, so what we are doing, I'll just give you a sense, is we use the trust structure. And the trust structure is essentially meant for this. It's meant to say that there's somebody else who's a custodian, and the economic benefits of the property flow to the actual beneficiaries through the trust. So we are in as many jurisdictions as possible using the trust structure, which reflects who we actually are and what we do in this process. We are the custodian, we are the trust and we are not the beneficiaries of the asset or the beneficiaries of the economics of the asset.
Right.
Yeah. So I think, I would say this: security tokens is not a good way to go. I'll be very honest with you straight away, right? That's why we got the SEC commissioner on our board and everything. We will not do anything that is contrary to the regulation. Even in
Right.
UAE, people were talking about utility tokens. We would not do it. A security is a security. Or anytime you're doing anything for real estate, if you're tokenizing and fractioning, that's a security. So we do actually do it as a security, and then we would do a digital representation of the security via token. But the paperwork and the articles of that company or that asset points towards that token as the ultimate holder of this, right? And there are transfer agencies. So the reason we're going with Tokeny and Euronext as part of our ecosystem is the reason is very simple. Is because the transfer agent ensures the KYC, AML, and everything else, but ensures that all the people involved in the process are compliant, right? And if it's an accredited investor, fine. If they're not required, they keep a record of it. It's like US investors cannot invest in certain things. They will keep compliance of it. So you cannot flout, and a lot of people have done it. Binance did it. Binance is under problem. You cannot flout the regulation and work around it. It will catch up with you, right? So we have to be very careful. People talk about security token, and I talk about digital representation of a security via a token. That's what I talk about, right? Yes, you can do utility token, but if it's a security, and see the definition of a security. If it's a security, it's a security, period. No, you cannot create a utility out of a security.
So on those lines, I mean, we've done a slight variation or a slight variation of this. We have two tokens.
Right.
We have a pure utility token, which is like the currency that's used to buy the security token.
Yeah.
So all our properties are tokenized, and no doubt that we all agree they're going to be security tokens, and depending on where the asset is, they will be securitized, following, if it's in the US, SEC, in Ontario, OSC, SEBI, or whatever. All those guidelines would be taken care of as we move towards the security tokens for the enterprise. However, we have a dual level with also as a almost like a Kickstarter equivalent. We had started off with some utility tokens, which can be used to buy the security tokens. So and that's what we had the IEO for. So we already have around 15,000 users that have got into the FOO ecosystem via our IEO in India, and so they are ready to buy the security token. So we kind of did a dual kind of mode on this, and I think that's it. It was more to get people that already understand crypto, that already understand tokenization on board, and we're obviously going after the people that are not in the crypto business as well, because owning fractional real estate asset, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a crypto person. You can buy it using fiat. You can use it, you can buy using anything. So we're definitely looking at it in two ways. But I just wanted to make sure that if anybody's listening and you already have FOHO coin, that FOHO coin is truly an utility coin, because it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So right, very interesting. I want to ask either of you, Roshan, Vijay. So if I were to invest into a property in Canada, for instance, sitting in Singapore, so what's the process on FOHO platform?
Oh, it's simple. It's as I described it. You will see the property in Canada. You will see all metadata or information about it. So you'll see the Google Maps location. You'll see the valuation report. You'll see, the rent yield, which building it's in, everything. And then you just click buy. You can see that it's composed of, let's say, 10,000 tokens. And so if the property is like $1 million, it's each token is $100. Then you add as many tokens as you want into your card. So if you're feeling like you're a big high roller that day, then Sony just put like 1,000 of or 1,000 or 10,000 of them into your cart and pay with your Amex. Put the 1 million on it, and then you have, lo and behold, you have the condo in Toronto in your MetaMask.
Yes. So a quick question. So do I buy using my fiat currency or FOHO tokens?
Anything.
Yeah,
Anything.
you can buy using either your FOHO tokens, you can buy using your fiat currency, etc. There are tokenization fees on the platform, and if you buy using FOHO coins, you essentially get a steep discount on the tokenization fees, which is a material amount. So the tokenization fees are about 10% of the value of the asset. You get like 30% off on that. So it's like a 3% discount on a property.
So another question: can I stake those tokens? Can I trade them?
Yeah. You can. In fact, we are shortly gonna allow you to borrow FOHO coins to
Right.
buy this token. So it'll be like your
Lending platform.
so yeah
Okay.
so it'll allow, let's say for instance Sanjay, if he feels that, hey, I don't know the Toronto market, but I know that there are smart people there who want to borrow my FOHO coins to buy the apartment in Toronto, and their property is mortgaged to him, and he gets a fixed return of 12%, 13%, then you may be able to buy the condo in Toronto for just 50,000, 100,000 down.
Yeah, and
That's
just
good.
on those lines, I think as Sanjay, I think hit it on the head there. People are looking, and we have already talked to people are looking to find out the asset. I mean, is it doing well, on an ongoing basis. So we've already talked to banking institutions in North America and in India. A lot of mortgage companies, people with money are willing to lend against property that's held by 10,000 people. So
Right.
so some of these discussions that we've had, initially were, if Sony Mohanty owns a condominium, or a villa,
Yeah.
they will give you the money. They'll look at Sony Mohanty's income, blah blah blah. They'll also look
Right.
at the asset itself. They will kind of discount it a little bit. They'll give you, let's say, 50%, 60%, 70%, 100%, 90%, whatever they decide. But now what we've told them, if 10,000 people own this, how does
Yeah.
it matter to you, right? If you're giving the money, you have your collateral is the apartment or the villa,
Yeah.
and that apartment or villa is you only talk to the trustee, or the one, and you don't have to talk to 10,000 people. So right off the bat, we've got people that said yes. So now this is when this becomes even more exciting, because
Mhm.
if you put in the money, somebody else will come in and put in 80%. You can take out 80%. I mean, obviously there could be a margin call if the value of it goes up and down, as Sanjay mentioned.
Yeah.
If the value of the property is, you're in a hot market and something happens, right? I mean, you're in Miami and a hurricane hits or something happens and it goes down. So there could be a margin call. There could be people saying that, hey, you only have 20% in this and it's gone down 30%. So you got to cough up with the 10. If
Right.
not, you lose your thing. So those are things, I think, where we're still looking at how to bring that element into the platform. But that is the future. The future is you can even get a mortgage on your fraction.
Wow.
Or
That's
you can
one.
stake it, and you can sweep your deposits of a
Yes.
bank to
Yes.
fund that token, and that's
Absolutely.
what the DAO does.
Yes.
That's what a DAO does, and that's
Yes.
what we are doing. So we have actually patented a lot of these things, and we are already executing on it. In Switzerland, we're doing it. We're doing it with Demar Properties in Dubai, and you could actually stake your Emirates frequent flyer miles and have a currency account that can be staked to you and earn a 5% yield. So we actually free up liquidity in trapped assets.
No,
That's
absolutely.
excellent.
Absolutely. And Sanjay, the biggest trapped asset is real estate.
Yes.
Oh,
Real
that's
estate is
brilliant.
the most illiquid thing ever. So this works not just the buyers, the sellers everybody that's in the market and already owning real estate, this is a two-sided marketplace. So not just gets new people onto it, but if you're on the other side, you're already holding real estate. This is music to your ears. You're like, and you can potentially not exit entirely, right? If you own a property, you can say, I'm only going to securitize, I'm only going to sell 40%. I still want to hold 60%, or I want to hold 25%. I'm going to let 75%, go into the market. So there's different kinds of opportunity, and this is where also sometimes there could be people that see value in an asset that as Sanjay mentioned, the I forget the term now, DLOM. If the DLOM is 20%, there could be situations where the DLOM could be negative. I mean, in the sense, there is a premium because somebody actually covets that asset and goes after it and buys out the token holders. So it could be potentially, it doesn't have to be negative. I mean, it could be the other way around. I mean, positive in sense, it could be a premium as well.
Yeah. So I think, just draw analogy to the public markets, right?
Yes.
This is no different from public markets. It's a different instrument, digitized, because private markets is too big. And the way public markets work, private markets can't work. But if you were to draw an analogy, whenever a company gets research coverage, the evidence shows that their value in the stock market goes up by 7%, 8%, because there's transparency of data and people are allowed to make better decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
The DLOM is all because of discount, lack of marketability. Marketability means lack of transparency, lack of information about it, lack of consistent information, lack of periodic information. Once you solve for those, the tokens, which is so right, could trade at an appreciated value. At least it sets the foundation, and then people can make a decision up and down from it. Right? Because there's nothing known as fundamental based data.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think great discussions. I just want to know from Roshan. Roshan, what's Let's Foho? Is Let's Foho different from a Foho coin, or is it the name of the platform you rebranded?
Yeah, Let's Foho is essentially the actual place that you buy. So Foho Coin is the website which is dedicated to the coin itself, and analysis on the coin and where it's trading, what its market value is, etc. We want to make Foho like a verb. So tomorrow me and Sony are gonna Foho the Burj Khalifa, or we are gonna let's Foho the
We're doing it.
We'll do it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
We are doing it actually.
Absolutely.
We're working on it.
Absolutely. So letsfoho.com is actually the website that you can go to and actually purchase the real estate using the Foho coin. So it's as I said, November 15th it's launching. You will see some pretty interesting deals on it, and the deals will get more and more interesting, attractive, and more global. So I mean, I invite everyone to check it out, and Sony, you in particular, we have to start hunting for some good deals in Singapore, to show the rest of our friends across the globe that Singapore's also got some interesting real estate.
Yeah, I mean, where are you coming?
That's an interesting question. Now, if I come there now, then the quarantine rules, etc.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to be in Mauritius soon.
Mm-hmm.
So towards 24th to the 30th, etc. So maybe I don't know, maybe towards the end of December, January, I should be in Singapore, and hopefully they'll ease out the quarantine rules a little bit.
I know. Yeah, you never know Singapore, but I'll be there in December. But I'm coming from America directly. I'm going to UAE next week, coming back, making sure 15 days pass, and then I'm going to go to Singapore, then India, and then UAE.
From US, there is no quarantine from US.
I know.
Yeah.
All of you are invited to Goa at the end of the year. So if any of you are in
oh my God,
yeah,
when is it?
Yeah.
Where Goa? Where
it's the Foho party.
The Foho party. We're gonna have Foho party.
I'm coming, guys.
It's the Foho High Rollers party. Yeah, yes.
Let me know where it is. Can I send someone in my place?
Please do. Absolutely. We will let you know. We'll let you know. It's I always said this, okay, and then this is one of my regrets. Vijay Mallya had a bungalow, a villa, a huge villa. It was called the Kingfisher Villa in Kandolim, Goa, and it went on auction, and I and some of my MBA buddies end up in Goa, almost every year at the end of the year, and we wondered, at that time we wondered, if there was FOHO at that time, we could have all fractionally bought that villa. We could have put our monies together and got a bunch of people.
Vijay, there's still time. There's still
Okay.
time. The most iconic residence in Goa, the Palacio Aguada,
Yes.
is now on sale, and Triple S is holding the mandate. It's a
Okay.
minimum of 80 crores, and it is the most, the most luxurious residential asset in Goa. And it's
Right.
not just recently, it's been you just Google Palacio Aguada, and it's been the most fantastic residence in Goa for decades.
I thought somebody just bought it. I thought it's one of those.
Yes. So
yeah.
so Pinky Reddy, who's the daughter
Yeah,
of
Pinky
Rama,
Reddy bought it,
so she bought it, and she's put it on the market again.
Again, okay. I didn't realize
Yes,
that.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
wow.
She's put it on the market again.
Hey, tell her to bring it to FOHO.
Yes. No, that's the intention.
Well, we should try to understand. We should try to work together as to how we can be the underlying data layer on your forward thing. Because I'm telling you, I'm getting requests from India, I'm getting requests from UAE, and from Singapore Monetary Authority of Singapore. The SPAC I'm launching is with Makara Capital, which does the innovation fund for Mass and Temasek. They manage it. Ali is a good friend of mine, and this is a very hot market. And the marketplace we're setting up in UAE will allow institutional investors to look at the asset, have all the data around the asset on a consistent, regular basis, so that they can invest 50 million, 100 million, whatever it is, or they can fractionalize it, right? So that's we should talk about it. But we are looking for partners in India. I mean, I'm talking to the Bani family. I'm talking to DLF, all those people there. I know them very well, KP Singh. But mid-market is the right place to go, not anywhere else.
Right.
Oh, happy to have a discussion, Sanjay.
We are having our year-end meeting in Goa, so we are.
Oh, that's great.
So Sanjay is going to fly from US or Dubai, wherever he is. I'll be flying from Singapore, and Vijay from Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. I think this will be fun. Yeah,
it's going to be fun. I haven't been to India for a while, of course, for reasons known to all of you here. But I'm so excited. I hope that things change, for good. While coming back to Singapore, I don't have to quarantine myself from India. So let's see. Yeah, and I look forward to sort of working together with both Sanjay, Vijay, and Roshan. I mean, in whatever way we can work. We already working with Roshan and Vijay in the sense their token is going to be listed on La Token soon. And obviously, Sanjay has a good proposition as well. So let's close this deal when you meet in Goa. And I'm very excited. I've been to Goa, it's been over many years now. And I'm still haven't come out of that euphoria of Goa. I went during New Year's, December, New Year party. I was literally partying over there. And I still cannot forget the experience. And I'm looking forward, very much excited to go back to Goa during that time.
Sonny, I don't know how old you are, but I think a lot of us who are at that age group remember being in Goa on the 99 to 2000 transition New Year.
Well, what do you think? How old I am? You can obviously
roughly around.
23.
You seem to be a little younger than to have been at that New Year party. Might have still been under the guardianship of your parents.
Oh gosh. All right, great. Always a great panel today on VCTV. After a while, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's take some quick closing thoughts before we close the session. Sanjay, over to you.
God, she always goes to me first, right? So it's good that Sony always remembers me first, right? It's always a pleasure to do that. So listen, I think I'll say a few comments. Tokenization is going to happen. It is happening. It will be the mainstream for how funds and VCs even raise money, because the liquidity remains with people in the mid-market side, right? Number one. Number two, I believe that the valuation, that the data has to be connected to these assets, no matter what, right? So that there's transparency and trust on the information. So immutability. DeFi is going to be critical, because private asset people don't like the data to be moved out. They like it to be presented so that someone can do something about creating valuation or something and put it back, right?
Yeah.
So that is the DeFi is going to be very critical. The use of blockchain will be very important. We're also launching our own protocol, Accumulate, which is going live, right? And we are not creating our own token. We are interoperable, so you can hold a wallet on Accumulate, but it can be, and it doesn't matter whether it's ERC or anything. We're interoperable with all the blockchains. So we are making things transparent. We're basically the pipe and the infrastructure supporting the private asset market. So I do believe that this is going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I think in the digital age and the COVID age, this has all been accelerated. What would happen in 2027, 2028 is going to happen in 2022, 2023. That's the point. That's the bottom line. And the hunger for alpha, democratization of alpha and financial inclusivity. I'll be speaking at the Dubai Expo this month, right? This is November, right? This month. And we'll be talking about financial inclusivity. And financial inclusivity is not only about diversity, but it's also giving people access to alpha generating opportunities without really getting them to stake their life earned incomes around it, right? So that's what I believe is going to happen. So Vijay and Roshan are in the right place. And I think we lost Tushar. I don't know what happened to Tushar, but anyway.
I think he just wrote a message saying that he had a hard stop. So, yeah.
Okay. I have a hard stop in about 3 minutes too. So we have got a conference coming up.
We are nearly done. Vijay, very quickly with you.
Yeah, I think any of you watching, we've heard from the wise people here. Sanjay's told you, if you're sitting on your money, if it's under the pillow, if it's any of those places, you get it out there. And I'm going to add this. November 15th, there's going to be a very good place for you to bonk your money. Letsfoho.com. And if you want to prepare for you can also go to fohocoin.com. You can buy it on BitBNS, on Uniswap, and very soon on La Token. So there's multiple ways you can participate in the Foho ecosystem. And if you are one of those people that have already invested in real estate and wondering, this is so illiquid, get in touch with Foho as well. We can Foho your real estate. We can bring it on and tokenize it and get you some money coming in. So this works for both people already in real estate, people wanting to get in as well.
All right, so I'm going to bring my properties on it in India.
Sanjay, absolutely, be a pleasure. It would really
so Roshan, let me know what you can do for Bani properties, BAANI. We're going to tokenize the Gurgaon properties.
Oh, yeah.
So I know all those guys very well. They want to work with us, but again, we're going to go to the valuation and everything else. So we are going to have partners in India, and we can figure out how we go about doing it, right? I don't want partners who don't understand the business, right? I got, Birla's family. I know all these guys very, very well. Sanjeev Goenka is a personal friend of mine, but they don't understand what it is, right?
So Sanjay, we like to see how we can get you on board Foho. I mean, we have as I said, the sponsor thing. We need market participants. We need people, either sellers, enablers, and so we need all of that. And I think as we get this, a floating tide, so a rising tide floats all boats. I think everybody in this ecosystem will gain. So it would be wonderful and fantastic if we can partner. And thanks, Sony, for putting this. Roshan.
Great. I really like this panel. Thank you so much, Vijay and Sanjay. Roshan, your thoughts?
Thank you, Sony, for doing this. I'll keep it really brief. I've finally enjoyed actually doing this from on the highway in India. And for those of you who have not been doing a StreamYard or a live session from the highway, I highly recommend the muskmelon juice. It's not something that you can normally get in any 5-star hotels, but they have it on the highways, and it's really yummy. So thank you, La Token and Sony, for having us, and thank you for the opportunity to have a muskmelon juice.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Roshan and Vijay. I almost speak to you every day, and I'm very much personally excited about your project and the success of your project.
Sometimes you're pinging me from so many the messages, Sunny. I'm confused sometimes. Which is the real Sunny?
Well, at least she doesn't call you at 2 in the morning.
Oh God, Sanjay, sorry about that. You know what? All I
Listen, it
have.
got my wife curious who this person is.
Oh, sorry. Oh
And
my God.
I said Sunny is a short name for Surinder.
What? I should leave them smart. Sorry. When I have a panel like coming up, I get too excited and I can't sleep. So I
Don't get
just keep
excited.
on
Sunny, we
talking.
are professionals. When we say yes, we do it.
I know,
That's
Sanjay,
fine.
but it's just me.
I know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Got
Thank
it.
you so much, Sanjay, Vijay, and Roshan. Had a great
Yeah.
time on this
Bye.
panel today. And yes, we're
Thank
going
you
to talk
so much.
soon. Thank you and see you in Goa.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Yes, bye.